right, so he said he has some questions for me.
Just basically as like a brand owner, gym owner, anyone that just started their whole little movement, you know what I mean? Raw gear, where did it start? When did you start? Kind of how did you get it to where you are today?
It's not really like a quick answer.
It isn't, bro. When thinking growth and expansion, I don't know, what's the game plan? What's the focus is? What's like the things to not forget going forward as, you know, you grow and progress?
That's an interesting question, because like a kid was just in here right now asking me a question about like how could he become like a sponsored athlete? It's like another question, right? Which is not the same question you asked, but you're talking about kind of the same thing, just different ways, like expanding or growing something, right? For example, as like a brand trying to find a sponsored athlete, it's like it's just someone who adds value, right? So if I'm talking about myself growing or opening a gym somewhere else, like expanding, right? It's all about how could I add value to that place, and am I adding enough value already? So, but beyond that, talk about expanding and growing, the biggest thing you have to be comfortable with is risky. Now it's the same thing like when I first opened Zoo Culture 4 years ago, because it's just the 4-year anniversary recently. There was a big question in my mind, even though I was like popular at the time. I was like, I don't know if this is gonna work, because it was in person now, and I was afraid of like spending $500,000 on fucking equipment and then failing, and then having to sell the equipment, or having to now have a 7-year lease for my space, and having to figure out, you know. So what I'm saying is, you gotta be comfortable with risky. But at the core of it, like I was telling that kid in there who was asking me about becoming a sponsored athlete, is like adding value. Because if you add value, that's how, he was like, how do I get sponsored? I was like, you have to add value. Whether it be like making someone laugh, or giving someone information, or helping someone like think differently, or helping someone feel like, oh, I changed my body from this to that through these exercises, right? Or through this meal prep, or through this diet, whatever it is, right? Like teaching someone, and someone being like, oh shit, that person showed me this, that person made me laugh, that person gave me this, that person like made me think, or that person gave me a different perspective. That's giving value. I was telling the kid, I was like, if you want to be a sponsored athlete, if you're giving value to the people who are in your community, in your ecosystem, then of course a brand would want to come in and be like, okay, well, you already see there's a connection between you and those people, because they can, you know, read the comments.
Totally, yeah. I see how you answer both questions. For
you
sure.
have to give value. It's all about value.
It's like, kind of like vice versa on his end. It's like, okay, well, sponsors, like, okay, well, why do we want you and why do you want us? And then on your end, it's like, how am I bringing value to wherever I go?
Exactly. And then the biggest caveat is risk. Being willing to say like, you know what, fuck it, I'm just gonna risk this shit, and I'm gonna try to open another gym out here. Do I know it's gonna do well? No. Do I think it's gonna do well? Yeah. Am I gonna try? Yes. Risk is the biggest thing.
It's gonna do amazing.
That's the biggest thing, man. Like if you're talking about expanding your business or growing, it's about taking risks. So like, you know, a lot of people, this is really common on like social media, they go like, oh, I really want to film YouTube videos, but like I don't have a videographer or an editor, right? And I'm like, well, how much money do you make right now, right? And let's say they make enough money to pay a videographer, but they don't want to pay the videographer. They want to like do it themselves and try and edit, but they're not good at it, right? It's like, you probably need to just take that risk and say, I'm gonna take $5,000, $4,000, $2,000, however many less dollars that you need to pay that videographer, take that risk to give that person that opportunity so that you can free up your time, free up your focus, and like try to make better content more efficiently. Yeah. But people don't want to take that financial risk. So that's on a small scale. Versus me, as a big scale, is like, do I put $1 million here, or $1 million there, or $500,000 here, or whatever, for equipment, or for so it's all just relative. Like I might be talking about $1 million, but $1 million to me could be different, and it is. And someone who 5,000 could be $1 million. Like obviously not literally, but to them, right? To them. When I was there, it's the same thought. It's like, how do I grow? Okay, I have to risk giving this job to someone else, paying this money to someone else. So like now
I can do something else.
And now I'm not getting the money, but now it's like overall you start making more, because it becomes a bigger pot if you start doing the right things and adding value. So it's all about adding value. That's it. And that's all I've tried to do over the fucking years. It's like, even shit like this, I do my best always to add value. I never try to be like, no, I'm not gonna do it. Like I can think of all these expos and all these times that I went to go meet people. And it's like, I'd be the last one to leave every single time. I'll be the last till they start turning the lights off. At the Olympia, all these events, I spend the most time at the events. I always do. And because I care because I know I wouldn't have what I have without people supporting me. And like, you even ask me this question, like,
it's crazy because we ask these questions to like people we meet, like you know what I mean? They all say the same thing: risk, confidence, little investments into what you're doing. And you're not seeing it right now on the front end, but it's growing your bigger picture. You know what I'm saying?
Most people aren't willing to live the life of like complete shit, work for nothing, and eat shit before you like live like a king. Because the hard part is now on the internet, you see the people living the way you want to live, and you're like, I just want to have that. But it's like, I didn't just wake up one day with the shit. I didn't wake up one day with the ability to open up gyms and to pay videographers. And it's like, I started from nothing. It wasn't like someone's like, here's some money, go fucking do whatever you want to do.
No one ever talks about that shit either.
No one does.
So it's not a popular topic.
So that's the crazy crazy thing because everyone sees what it is now and they go, oh, all you do is film fucking YouTube videos. Your life's fucking simple. It's like, all right, motherfucker, I spent like all my waking hours of my life to this point to get to this point. It wasn't like I'm like just chilling all day, filming a video and then fucking off. Yeah. Like there's no way I could have the other things that I have right now. So it's easy to what you see. People think what you see is what you get and that's it. So they go, oh, he has that, he films that, it's that simple. How come it's not easy for me? The crazy thing is, the concept is as easy as making content that adds value to people over time consistently, and that eventually will lead you to where you want to go. Now, the speed at which you get there is completely different to everyone. Some people, I mean, TikTok nowadays, people are still blowing up. YouTube much harder, Instagram much harder to blow up, but TikTok is definitely an avenue for people. Like, if you want to blow up doing something, there's still like that algorithm and that platform itself is still allowing people to blow up.
So one closing question, and this is like, I'm definitely asking for whoever's watching. On your way up, before you were, you know what I mean, the success where you are now, how many, I'm not gonna say how many days, but if you could tell us about the times when you were basically like at home or in the shower alone and you really like, damn, it felt like your world was kind of like crumbling on you, like, oh my gosh, what am I doing with this operation? Like, did you ever get those moments?
For years.
Yeah.
I mean, like all the time. But it's like, if you have no other place to go, then where else are you gonna try and go but up? Yeah. It's like if you're not up, yeah, you're here, but you've been here, you're used to being here. It's
not like, is up.
And it's not like you're gonna be like, okay, well, this isn't working, so let me just, like, I just don't have that mentality. I'm just like, I don't know, since I was young, it's always been like, okay, this didn't work, let me keep trying. Because it's like, what's your other option? I'm a big believer in not making a second plan. I don't like plan Bs. It's stupid, because it's like your plan B is like, okay, if this doesn't work out, I'll do something I don't really want to do, but I'll settle for it. And people talk about this relationships all the time. Oh, never settle, don't settle, go, you know, blah, blah, blah. How come all of a sudden everyone's just, okay, settling just in their actual life.
Yeah, in their actual
their
life.
Their own personal life, them every single day being like, I'm okay with not liking this, but I'm getting mine. The truth is, man, like, we're all going to the same fucking place. So why would you live your life being like, let me just fucking settle and see what I can do and fucking I don't really care. But the days you're like, you go to bed, you're like, I hate this shit. Every day I hate this shit. But I'm doing what I need to do to get mine. Fuck it. Like, there was times I lived in my car. There was times I lived from place to place. This person's couch, that person's couch, like this person's house. Struggle. But I was like, okay, I'd rather be doing this than go home, because I knew I had a place to go home. Right? It wasn't like I couldn't go anywhere. Yeah. But I knew if I went home, then now that would put me in that whole circumstance again that I didn't want to be, that wouldn't allow me to go to where I think I really want to go. But that would have been easy because it would have been comfortable. So I could have been like, let me cop out, fly back home, I'm good, I could chill. It's not like my family is fucking broke. I could have went home. Not going home was because I'm like, I can't, that would be failure to me. So let me live.
So would you say you got comfortable with the pressure?
It's more so like, I feel like yes and no. It's more like avoiding the pressure. Ooh. Like pressure is good, yes, to make you better. Yeah. But sometimes you got to know how to move like out of it so you can like get a clearer mindset on like, okay, because sometimes pressure can be great, yes, but sometimes pressure can be too much where it grounds you. You just feel like now you're not able to go in the direction you want to go because you're constantly feeling that. Sometimes you need to make like full lateral movements to go in a different direction.
CEO talk for you right there.
Yeah. No,
let me get back to this workout, bro.
Hey, thank you for the question.
No doubt about it.